Welcome to Bilbao, everyone. Look at this one, this is gorgeous. I'm extremely tempted to buy this one. Right, so I'm getting the bloody thing because we need them, not let Man United breathe.
Pero en la final de la Europa League, si llegamos, que ojalá que sí, digo, llegamos, porque también va a ser...
Jolly Banchante.
Pero en el último de las 12:30.
Sí, pero si estáis aquí, lo mejor es estudiaros y en la palma. Es que la cosa es no perder.
So today's game is kind of chill. It wasn't like this in the previous ones. I mean, against Rangers and against Roma. Bloody hell, there was mayhem.
Look at this, the Basques have traditionally supported the Irish cause.
We've just been to the Peace Museum.
And that's the main reason that you see those two Celtic fans, man. So obviously supporting Athletic. I like Athletic. They're a cool club with some very serious set of ethics. So if I remember correctly, I made the executive decision for this game to go low. That didn't sound good, but to go somewhere close to the ground. We are 118 and we are first row over there. Fuck. We won't be seeing shit. Right, I made all sorts of idiotic choices for this game. First of all, I'm not close to the Ultras, which is sad. They are on the other side of the field, and we don't have visuals on the visitors who are above us, and we have a beer without alcohol. So, yeah, cheers. better camera than ours. So we basically need to find a solution to remain here and not go back there anymore. Bloody hell, man. athletic fans are watching the basketball game. At this moment in time, their basketball team are playing against PAOK. Really bad luck for PAOK, man. I have a good friend who is a supporter of that team. Bad luck. Check out that crowd, man. Nobody left. Very interesting. I think it's a mixture between Bilbao and Las Palmas fans. They have very good relations, as it's obvious. Good morning, everybody. Morning. It's kind of 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but still. We are still in Bilbao, outside of San Mamés. The crowds are gone. Let's investigate a little bit this gem of a stadium. These mini Emirates, or Dalous. They are extremely similar. As you can see, this stadium is not packed with graffitis and stuff like that. I mean, it's basically built in the middle of this huge square, and it's actually a new stadium. It was built in 2013 on the same spot that the old San Mamés used to stand. Let me tell you, that old San Mamés, man, that was the original image that I had as a kid of what Athletic Bilbao was. The old San Mamés was pure mayhem. It was one of the most difficult grounds to go and play in terms of noise and passionate support. They are already historic, the fight scenes with Maradona's Barcelona. We see a little bit from the stands. Look at this. Now the area around the stadium will probably give you the satisfaction that you're looking for. I mean, it's packed with little bars, tailor-made for the local support, packed with beverages, pinchos, everything that you can wish for coming to Bilbao or any other city in the Basque Country, to be fair. The team bus is abandoning the premises. And that over there would be the Nervion River, an emblem of Bilbao now and then. The stadium also hosts the team museum. Let's go and have a look and enlighten ourselves a little bit on athletic. Look at those mountains, man. The thing is red. Check out the members, man. The list of the members. This is where we were sitting yesterday, and that's where we moved. I absolutely love the fact that I'm alone once again. You hear that, St. Pauli, with those group tours.
Ya, igual no espera. Suerte. Pero los de maquia, ¿eh? Los de maquia la varias. ¿Te pagaríamos? Ah, me vale. Buenísimo que también. Ah.
Let's see if they are comfy. It's comfy enough not to get injured, and not comfy enough to keep you on edge. Remember the ones at the Luigi Ferraris, the Genoa ones? I would have replaced them with wooden ones. This is the VIP section. The elite Basque communities come here. Bloody hell, man. So these people don't believe in comfort. Very good. Keeps everybody on the edge. So much like any other museum that has self-respect, you exit through the gift shop. Hino Alonso García, Defensa por la Libertad. Todos aficionados atléticos de Bilbao, compañeros, sindicato, eso nunca olvidaremos. In a similar manner to Italy's Super Tifo, there was a fanzine or magazine here in Spain which was called Super Hincha. Now, hincha is the Spanish word for supporter, fan. And it worked more or less the same way. I mean, they presented the scene, what happened every weekend, who did what to whom, and all that stuff that interests supporters, and not only. Now, through that magazine, because yours truly was also into that, through that magazine I actually found a fellow who was a supporter of Athletic, but he lived in Madrid. Now this guy was a member of the ultra group of Athletic, Eri Norte Taldea, but a section of Madrid. And to my eyes, back then, my very young eyes, before the glasses, that was an amazing feature by itself. I mean, being in enemy territory, okay, besides Rayo, enemy territory and having an ultra group was as cool as hell. And Madrid back then was no joke, man. I mean, the Ultrasur were at their highest peak probably. Frente Atletico also. Eri Norte Taldea was the main ultra group of Athletic. I think they still are, but I don't see their banner anywhere. Here in Bilbao there was also another group on the other stand. Eri Norte was in the north stand of San Mamés, and then there was Abertzale Sur on the south stand of San Mamés. Now the word Abertzale means patriot. The word patriot in Basque means totally different things than what it means to the rest of the world probably. Look at this park, man. We have to give it to the locals. They take care of their trees. So, the Spanish patriot is a human specimen that is totally different than the Basque patriot or the Catalan one, or the Galician one, or I don't know, the Andalusian one. You see, all these states are traditionally separatists. I mean, this here lot, where do we begin, man? I think that we will mention some stuff during this video and maybe the following one, but to keep it simple, all the separatist groups of supporters and groups of non-supporter people who just want independence from Spain. All these groups are more or less left-wing, which is extremely interesting if you ask me, and still extremely patriotic. I mean, they carry those flags with great pride, you know? Right. On the other hand, the folks from Real Madrid or Atletico or Valencia or some of Zaragoza or Betis. Betis are the exact opposite of Sevilla FC, you know, in terms of politics and what they want in life. Traditionally, their nationalist approach is very much right-wing. Now, that guy with whom I was corresponding back then, he was a skinhead, left-wing skinhead, and as we said, an ultra of Athletic in Madrid. So he soon realized that he was basically talking with a 15-year-old who who was ecstatic about all these new stories he was hearing about from him. Before he completely abandoned our correspondence, he actually sent me a tape, audio tape. Do you not know what that is? Or am I talking to dinosaurs here? Anyway, and that tape had a collection of songs. The first one being the hymn, the anthem of Athletic. The one that says Athletic Gorita Suria, etc. Peritic sortu sinalago, maite zaitu heriak. Yeah, I knew it by heart. That was the level back then. I have absolutely no idea how to translate this. I mean, it's the anthem of Athletic is in the Basque language, of course. And despite the fact that I actually learned it by heart, I had absolutely no idea what it said. And I still don't. But yesterday at the game, I actually heard it again, live, in the traditional version. I mean, come on. That was emotional. Song number 2 was something like Que mierda es España, which I will probably censor it through the video, but what it means is actually what Spain is. I will censor that too. Song number 3, Ultra Subnormales, which refers to the Ultra Sur. You get the idea, right? That was my communication back then with that guy. I hope he's okay. I hope he's alive and still kicking. Look at that jailed carman. It's in prison. Nervion River in all its glory. When Franco was still into things, this here river was probably the most polluted and dirty in the whole of Spain. Even now it doesn't look the cleanest, but still. Yeah, man. They didn't make it. Sad. Franco decided to overload the Basque Country, and especially Bilbao, with all sorts of heavy industry, shipbuilding, iron, chemicals, petrochemicals. Everything was being processed here and circulated all over Spain through this Nervion River. Now, the Bilbao that I knew of when I was a kid was a rough, gritty, kind of filthy, but very hard-working industrial or post-industrial city that had absolutely nothing to offer to any kind of visitor. And if you add to this the economic collapse that this city faced back in the 70s and the 80s, and the transitional period after Franco with the new Spanish democracy and the rise of ETA and terrorism, which was back then not terrorism but fight for freedom. If you add all this together, you get a pretty grim idea on what Bilbao was back in the 80s. And if you look at the river now, I mean, look at this promenade here, look at this passage that goes all the way up and down the river. Try to imagine this being packed with factories. Factories on the left bank, factories on the right bank, and the river in the middle to facilitate commerce, the movement of products and materials. It's a totally different picture now. It was in 1997 that Bilbao changed its course once and for all. And this building here is probably the main reason or the starting point of this transformation. of the grim, dirty, industrial, collapsed city of Bilbao to the creative hub that is today. This is the Guggenheim Museum, designed by Canadian architect Frank Gehry, and it's a masterpiece of modern architecture. Thing looks like a submarine infested with spiders. So basically, we are the art. I mean, look at this guy. He's taking photos of us moving like this in the spiral. It does have an effect though. I mean, if you walk it, after a while it gets weird. And it ends a little bit later than what you would feel comfortable. So right here, right at this point, I would love it to have ended, but it goes on, you know? Only for it to come here, and then you feel the discomfort of going back in the spiral. And it's not only the spiral, I mean, it's how inclined this wall is, and if you move a little bit, it changes, and then you have the other wall that's inclined. Bloody hell, man. I feel very proud of the content we are creating in this channel. But besides our talks and narratives, I think it's important. I mean, Guggenheim here is Bilbao nowadays. Have you ever typed on Google, how old is the Basque Country? I mean, the answers are scary. So check this out. The Basque Country has a long and complex history. Evidence suggesting human presence dating back hundreds of thousands of years. Bloody hell. Basque language, Euskara. That language, man, I mean, it's is also thought to be very old, potentially preceding Indo-European languages. That's amazing, man. Needless to say that Franco did his best to eliminate this language. But you know the drill, like in Galicia, it was maintained through oral tradition mostly, and now it's part of the schooling system in the Basque Country. It even reached a point that a 15-year-old Greek from Crete learns by heart, in the Basque language, the anthem of Athletic Club de Bilbao, the punk rock version of the anthem. Kubrick bar. Kubrick. The reason I read you all this Wikipedia stuff is to try to explain the general feeling that exists here of the Basque Country being older than Spain. So countries like Spain or France, they found the Basques, not the other way around. Hell, even the Romans found the Basques. So what do you guys think? Has Bilbao lost its hardness and grittiness? Did it go from working class hardcore to, I don't know, hipster pinchos? If anything, Bilbao seems to be on the right side of history. So I saw on the map that somewhere here is the Bilbao Arena. And I wonder if this is the ground that the local basketball team plays. The one that became European champion at one of those competitions that don't matter for the poor people, you know. My team, AEK, also plays in one of them. Señora, ¿esto es del equipo de básquet?
Sí, esto es.
De campeón
Del
de...
Bilbao Basket, eso
Oh, qué
es.
bueno. Gracias. There you have it then. Bilbao champions of Europe. This construction next to me is an airstrike refuge, and it was on this day 88 years ago. Can you imagine? Exactly on this day, we are on the anniversary of the thing, that the Condor Legion of the Nazi Luftwaffe and the Italian Air Force bombed this city. Days before, they had bombed another town which is close by called Durango, at the request of Francisco Franco, in order to help putting down the spirit of the Basque people. Some 85% of the city was incinerated, and the rest of the buildings were basically heavily affected, with a total victim count of more than 1,600. The bombing of Guernica took place on a Monday. Monday is the day that the locals here hold their markets. And despite the eerie atmosphere, remember, the Durango was bombed some days before. They knew about it. They knew that it was possible. They did get into town. They did get to the market. Until the point the alarms went off, and the people were instructed to get to buildings such as that one to protect themselves from the bombing. As for the town's narrow streets, they were perfect for the fires after the bombing to evolve and eat up everything. I don't know about you, but my first contact with the Spanish Civil War was yet again back when I was young, and it was the book by George Orwell, The Homage to Catalonia. It was names like the PSUK, the PUM, the CNT, names of organizations that were hunting my brain system. And it's because of the importance of the day that you see all over the town people have flags on their balconies with a black stripe, a sign of mourning for this horrible anniversary. The flipping rain, man. The reason the bombing of Guernica was an experiment is because it was the first time that something so big in such a scale happened, and unfortunately was the same tactic was used again and again by both sides of the Second World War. Probably fell from a flag. What you see here are the different areas that represent what we know as Basque Country. Navarra, Guipúzcoa, Vizcaya, Álava. It was very common for the Basque soldiers to ambush foreign armies in the forests or places where the terrain was very, very difficult for the invader. Look at this. The armies of Charlemagne, for example, suffered great losses in such ambushes. What's fascinating is that in 1966, Francisco Franco was declared an adoptive son of the city of Guernica. Like, it's absolutely amazing what power can do, man. Look at this. Guernica supports Athletic. Adoptive son of Guernica, man. The nerve. Look at that tree trunk. That's apparently a very historic one. Flipping hell, man, the weather. Why didn't I come here yesterday, man? Yesterday was sunny, it was the joy of life. The tree is closed. Look at this situation today. Sorry about that. There you have it then, Real Sociedad flag outside of the San Mamés. The reason I keep showing you the San Mamés is because I chose to stay at a hostel very close to the stadium, and it feels good to breathe the area, you know? And instead of goodbye, I have one more last story for you. Athletic Club de Bilbao is a very well-known club in the entire world, I guess. They use for their team only Basque players, or players who are born in the Basque Country. By the way, by Basque Country I mean both the French territory and the Spanish one. And by being born, I mean, I don't think there's a better example than Iñaki Williams, I guess. The kid's parents struggled to get out of a problematic situation in Africa, and the kid was born here. So definitely Basque and proudly playing for Athletic. All these add to the character of the club. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Just look at that dark cloud, man. I mean, the story I want to tell is the one of Inigo Cabacas. As you probably have noticed by our visit to the game the other day, there was a banner at the Ultra stand which had the name of this person written on. So Inigo Cabacas was a supporter of Athletic Bilbao who back in 2012 would get out of the San Mamés and go to his favorite bar. Some 5 minutes down the road, the Basque crowd police arrived, the Ertzaintza. The Ertzaintza is the Basque version of Guardia Civil in the rest of Spain, Carabinieri in Italy, Gendarmerie in France. The Ertzaintza tried to disperse the gathered crowd of fans with the use of rubber bullets, and one of them hit Inigo Cabacas at the head, which later caused his demise. Athletic Bilbao fans still demand justice, proper justice for this event, which doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. So this is the new entity apparently of the Athletic Bilbao support, this ICHH. This is not Spain nor France. And if my information is correct, Eri Norte Taldea is not participating in this. The choice is amazing though. I mean, look at this space. It's basically a blinded alley, you know? I mean, okay, you do have this passage, but still, imagine a big crowd being here and then being attacked by the police coming from over there. It's weird. Some of the choices that happen every once in a while are weird. Anyway, that's more or less it from Bilbao. I will see you in the second part of this Basque small series of 2 videos. See you in the next one. Bye bye.